Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is how to build a G23 VTEC using H22A4 block. Picked up a few pieces here and some parts showed up, so I can continue and do a rebuild on this one. And I have told you that I was going to use same bearings because it has a few thousand miles in it, but I learned to find out that the a little bit of gouges on the crankshaft journal, so I have decided to oh, what the heck, just go ahead and get me a new set of bearings. Let me see if they or if I ordered the right one. And made in Australia, and it's a standard size. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Whew, they got me there going. This was open, and man, I thought I have a used one, but it's all sealed up. So it opened in the box. It's probably got squished during the shipping or something. So yep, there you go. I'm using both worlds here. I'm using King and ACL. I always get either King or ACL. So if you ask me why pick King and ACL, or what would be best between the two, I really cannot tell you. I usually just go whatever's available and whatever it is on sale, which is on those two brands you can't really go wrong. Clevitt is good too. So it's more like I'm on a bargain hunt. Yeah, whatever's on sale. So either or will work. If you don't have such tools like this, minimal tool required. So when you put this thing together, use this. Some guys hated this, but for, like I said, new beginner, I would suggest to use this. Yeah, there's plenty of tutorial on how to use this. I just remembered in the last video that I uploaded, remember, this is an H22A4 block. So I am going to remove this F23. I no longer need this for a different block. So now I am back to building a G23 using a 1998 up to 2001 Honda Prelude H22A4 block, because it has a 55mm just like the F23. Alright, let's go build this thing. I'm using a H22A4 specs as far as like the torque and the main bolts. I got my main cap bolts all lubed and everything. Try to do the engine build on a clean environment and make sure you don't put any oil onto here. Make sure it's all dry. Using the plastic gauge is the easiest way of finding your oil clearance. Some people say it's not the best, but for some new beginners, you'll be okay. And make sure everything is all dry for now. Next will be the trash washer. I'm only applying just a little bit on the face. That way it will stick onto the block. And the groove will be facing the crank. I'm reusing mine Remember, it doesn't have that much of a mileage. So if you are building yours, get a new one. Sometimes you'll find a deal that everything is included. It's more like a kit. The main, the rods, and also the trash washers. So next will be the crank. Check all the flanges, make sure there's no nick. If there is like gouge or anything like that, some raised material, that's what I'm talking about. Just get a file and then contour it to the flatness. Same thing on the block. Since this is aluminum, this one, if you've seen my video, the center right here, that was damaged, so I have to remedy that. So just make sure there's no raised material, and if there is, just simply get a small file and just file it. Alright, I'm ready for this one, but before I drop it on, I'm going to use the I'm going to put this.
Put it in the center. You could put it at the bottom before you drop the crank if you wish, or you could do it this way.
So everything is installed, it's in the center. This will be followed by your main caps, the girdle. Just slowly put it on there. And drop all your bolts. Start from the center. Always follow your service manual. And do it in a crisscross pattern.
You can also mark the flanges, the torque sequence numbers. That way you don't get confused. You can see it first time.
Force torque is 22 pounds a foot. Try to do it in one shot, one turn. Again, crisscross pattern. Do it all in one shot. Alright, so now take it off. Start from the outside, going in. Again, in crisscross pattern. Moreover, 1000. It's good. Number 2, it's 1000. Number 4, it's 1000. And number 5 is a little bit over. Yeah. Number 3, it's more than, yeah, it's more than 1000. So this is the H22 specs. And for bearing, oil clearance, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like, since I got 1000 and some have a little more than that, so I say I'm good. Even though this is 50mm specs, 55mm is somewhere around there also. Yeah, I'm not really that far out, but I know I'm within limits. So for your build, make sure to check it. Find the specs, whatever block you were using or crank. So I'm going to clean that up. The best way that I found easier to remove those is scrape it with a credit card.
Yeah, just simply scrape it with a credit card. Come right out. I could clean it over inside the block, but I don't want to put anything in there.
Yeah, make sure to scrape up all that clay out of there. Never use a razor blade or anything like that. There. Piston ring installation. So since I'm building a G23 using H22A4 and H22A4 piston, so the orientation or the location of the seal ring will be plain H22. So if you happen to have a K20A2 piston, let's just say you have 87mm, do not follow the K series, just follow the F23. You're building an F23 or H22A4. It's not K20. So, or don't get confused. And usually for new beginners, so you won't get confused, just mark your piston like so. Just copy those markings and transfer it to your piston, and right here, so the top, second is right there, and then the rest is over here. Then after that, make sure to oil it. Make sure the gap on the spacer, the third one, make sure it's on there correctly, because if not, it's gonna get hanged up. And you should get a minimum tool required, and just make sure to verify that the gap is not aligned to the pin. But don't worry, the seal rings, they said, it's supposed to rotate in there, and just simply put it on like so. You don't want to put your tool all the way here. Remember, the piston is not really straight, it's tapered. Yeah, Over here it's wider than the one on the top, so you want to squeeze it past the last groove. And then when I put it on, I'll show you more. Remember the stamp, the PAA right there? That has to face the timing belt. And also the cap for here, make sure you follow the directions on your installation manual, okay? If you're using a Ford's connecting rod, it would not have a marking, not unless you marked it. And those notches has to be facing, or it will be on the exhaust side area. So there's my stamp, so I'm gonna face it like this. Remember the groove, the notch right there? So if I flip it like this, then it'll be facing the exhaust side. So as soon as you goes in there, and also if you have OEM piston, then the arrow will be facing, if you build it correctly, it will be aligned to this. So make sure that arrow is facing the timing belt. And just simply tap the top of the your tool. That way everything will be square or flat. And if you can, give it another squeeze there. That's just to squeeze the seal ring more, and give it a light tap. And if you feel like it's not going in, stop and then redo it again. It should go in like that, and you're good to go. All right, now, so I'm gonna flip it, then that way I could put the, just slowly, because of the connecting rods, it's gonna, you don't want that thing to be banging in there. Then I'm going to put the bearing. Make sure there's no oil at the back.
This is my ACL. And just simply align the notches.
Pay attention on those notches on the rods. So let me set this up. Make sure your trash washer is put on, the groove facing the crank. And line up your crank to the rods. Just do it slow. Okay, I got those two lined up. Now just wipe that one. There. All right, I'm gonna leave it as this, and then I'm gonna put the my plastic gauge, and then put the caps on. I think I need to drink more coffee. My hands shake so much. Remember, this is a match set, so don't mix and match. And just carefully put it all together. F23 connecting rod bolts require 14 pounds a foot, and then from there you give it another 90-degree turn. I converted it into inches, so that's 168. So give it an initial torque there. A simple instructions like this, just put a mark 90 and here line it up there. So if I put my wrench on here and turn it and put that mark there, that's 90. Alright, one more there. I'll do the same thing here. So this will be a line right there. So look at this. I got my tool right here. So I'm going to stop from where that mark would be. A little more, just there. Initial torque 168. Right there. I could just use this torque wrench, but let me mark it. So right there, 90-degree. Right there. Yes, can see it. There's my mark. Any more? There. More. Right there. See that mark? Line up there. And that's it. Then I'm gonna break it off again, take it off, and then check the plastic gauge. You get these and simply match it up. It looks like the 1,500. Yeah, it's 1,000 is too big. Yeah, 1.5. This one, yeah, 1.5. So I'm using H22 specs, but I'm building a F23 connecting rods. If there is a difference, we're only talking about maybe 1/10 of a thousand. It's very rare that it would change a whole lot. So rod bearing to journal, all clearance there, and see right there, that's 3/10,000 right there difference. And look at the maximum or even the service limit. As long as I don't go past the service limit, I'll be okay. But I have 1.5, so H23, H22 right there, 11 right there, so mine is 1.5, so I'm good. And that's it for the all clearance. All right, when I put it all together, I'm gonna show you another trick or something that I learned. So I'm going to clean that up again and remove it and make sure it's all clean, and then I'm gonna lube it up and assemble it.